Thank you. Yield back. I now recognize the gentleman from Connecticut, Mr. Courtney.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary McMahon, in your opening remarks, you focused on the need for giving parents and families the choice in terms of their children's education. And sure enough, in your skinny budget, the line item for charter schools was plussed up, which I guess is consistent with those remarks. However, you zeroed out magnet schools in the skinny budget. We both come from Connecticut. U.S. News and World Report did their annual ranking of high schools in the state of Connecticut. The #1 high school in the state of Connecticut is a magnet school in East Hartford, the Connecticut IB Academy. The #3 high school in terms of quality in the state of Connecticut is the Marine Science Magnet School in Groton, Connecticut, which I have the honor of representing. There is not a charter school in the top 50. And again, this is not, my question is not really about whether charter schools perform or don't perform, but what your budget does is it undercuts parental choice, because magnet schools are choice-driven programs. I can say that personally because my daughter attended a magnet school, and you know, it was an excellent education experience. You zeroed out that account, which is completely undercuts and contradicts the hype in your opening statement about supporting parental choice. I mean, why wouldn't you support magnet schools?
Well, I do support magnet schools, and as we both know, in Connecticut, I'll speak to magnet schools, but also in Connecticut, there has been the lowest growth in charter schools. I think we're like 5th from the bottom in the country for allowing more charter school growth.
So why zero out magnets?
Magnet schools are also, as are charter schools, they are public schools. So in the public schools funding, then I think that as the states have more control over their state budgets, they can allocate those dollars to magnet schools. I think magnet schools are great, and I know that a lot of them do focus on particular kinds of studies.
Thank you. Just reclaiming my talk is cheap. Budgets are what count. And,
yes,
and this budget does not say that magnet schools are great. I have another question. I want to just move on.
You referenced the skinny budget, and that was an operating plan. We now have the full budget, so we might take another look at that.
Yeah, it says zero.
You may still be. You may still
anyway,
be correct,
I want to move
on to.
I want to move on to the Perkins program, which again is very important in the state of Connecticut. I was at a graduation ceremony on Wednesday. In Groton, where 170 high schoolers were given job offers by Electric Boat Shipyard because of Perkins grants funded programs, both in tech schools and comprehensive high schools in welding, metal trades. The hype, again, from this administration is that they're going to support trades schools, but looking at your budget, again, it's a zero increase in the Perkins line item, which I guess could have been worse. You could have cut it. In terms of the program, but in terms of meeting the moment of job openings, which you mentioned in your opening remarks, and certainly we have huge job openings in southeastern Connecticut, this budget does not match the rhetoric in terms of trade schools or the trades. What I want to ask you is that, you know, we're trying to figure out in terms of just the interaction between job training programs at the Department of Labor and Perkins grant program. And can you tell me, again, whether or not it is your intention to move the Office of Career, Technical, and Adult Education to the Department of Labor?
Well, thank you for that question, Representative. I can tell you that one of the executive orders from the President was that the Commerce Department, Department of Labor, and Department of Education should coordinate and look at workforce programs. There were over 43 different workforce development programs across all of the agencies. Is certainly inefficient in operation. So I've had many discussions with Commerce. I've had many discussions with the Secretary of Labor, and I think there are opportunities to move some of those programs into other agencies. Well, in your discussions,
I would hope you would note the fact that it's in statute that office is in the Department of Education. Perkins was enacted after the Department of Education was created. It is housed in the Department of Education, and we are going to be watching very closely in terms of whether or not there's a move made that violates that law. I also would just note in closing, the adult education line item was zeroed out, which is just stunning. I mean, this is a program that allows adult learners to get a second chance in life because some people who didn't complete high school on time and also immigrants who, again, want to get the literacy skills so that they can get naturalized as citizens. I'm speaking at I was invited to speak at an adult education graduation ceremony in Vernon Friday night, and again, it's pretty sad to be able to bring news from Washington that that's the Secretary of Education doesn't support adult education. With that, I yield back.
I thank the gentleman.